Xiao Qingxue, a college student from Xianyu, unexpectedly stumbled upon the novel, Do Pe Zangqiong, and became the younger sister of Emperor Yan Xiao Shui. This fate of being the chosen son of luck made Xiao Shui very excited. At the moment she learned about becoming Xiao Yan's biological sister, Xiao Shui knew that the future would be a different path. The emotions of the Xiao brothers were so profound. As the only daughter of the Xiao family, it was destined that the moment Xiao Shui arrived, she would be treated as the pearl in her palm. And I also carry game systems, elixirs, martial arts, and exotic fire with me, without any shortage, with the meticulous care of her father and brother at home, and the constant support of Xiao Sunler, a good sisters. Xiao Shui can't be too happy. The growth along the way made Xiao Shui gradually realize how important family care is. At the Canaan Academy, as the most talented young man of the ancient tribe, Xiao Shui was also deeply favored from the bottom of his heart. Who could have imagined that Emperor Yan Xiao Yan and the entire ancient family were all solid supporters of Xiao Shui, and no one dared to provoke Xiao Shui in the entire Duqi continent. The happiest girl in Duqi continent is none other than Xiao Shui. Annotation. The most talented young genius of the ancient tribe, Gu Chuan, will become Xiao Shui's most loyal guardian. Keywords of the novel. Do Pe. After dressing up as Xiao Yan's sister, I was favored by the group without a pop-up window. Do Pe. After dressing up as Xiao Yan's sister, I was favored by the group. Download the full text. Do Pe. After dressing up as Xiao Yan's sister, I was favored by the group. Latest chapter reading. Chapter 1. Did I travel through time? You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 1. Did I travel through time? Get up quickly, you're going to be late for class. A call rang in Xiao Qingxue's ear. Yes, the first class today was in advanced mathematics. Think of that perverted teacher, who would call the roll before class and then call again after class. It can be said that he is the most hardworking university teacher in history, and this skipping rate is the lowest among all subjects. Who made him crazy? Xiao Qingxue quickly sat up, stretched lazily, and yawned. Xiao Qingxue muttered to herself, "Get up. Get up. Wait." Xiao Qingxue's eyes rolled straight, carefully examining the environment she was in. What about the dormitory? What about roommates? And what does this antique bed frame mean? Shouldn't it be a steel frame bed? Where is this? It's not like sleeping alone and the dormitory is gone, and I don't feel any sense of being carried away by someone. Xiao Qingxue slowly got off the bed and looked at a pair of ancient women's shoes placed by the bed. I'll go. When did I have such high-end shoes? How come I don't know? Xiao Qingxue looked around with her eyes and found that the furnishings in the room were no different from ancient times, such as the bronze mirror in front of the dressing table and the rouge powder box in front of the mirror. This solid wood furniture seems to be indicating something. Yes, Xiao Qingxue has traveled through. Xiao Qingxue walked up to the dressing table, sat down slowly, and looked at herself in the bronze mirror, which had undergone significant changes because her body was not what a 20-year-old adult should have. Xiao Qingxue's clear and bright pupils, curved willow eyebrows, long eyelashes trembling slightly in the bronze mirror, her fair and flawless skin exuding a faint red pink, and her thin lips are as delicate as rose petals. This is a perfect beauty embryo, but is this really oneself? Xiao Qingxue remembers very clearly, playing with her phone after class at night, and then falling asleep in a daze. Just sleeping. Is it difficult to travel on your own after just sleeping? This is a bit funny, isn't it? While Xiao Qingxue was struggling to think about what was unreasonable about her. Suddenly, in front of Xiao Qingxue's line of sight, something resembling a projector appeared. Still making voice calls. Detected that the host is awake and is connecting to the system, Drip, Xiao Qingxue was fooled by this sudden scene, and now she understands that she has indeed traveled, but she still doesn't know where she has arrived. Successfully connected, Host name is Xiao Shui, the fourth miss of the Xiao family, daughter of Xiao Zhan, sister of Xiao Yan. Xiao Qingshue's pupils dilated instantly. What's going on? Xiao Shui. How about not adding, subtracting, multiplying, and dividing so roughly? If you clear your name, you become Xiao Shui. Wait, Xiao Zhan. Xiao Yan. Fighting through the sky. Wearing your own books. Entering the world of breaking through the sky. And also became the younger sister of the male protagonist in Douzhi Qi Li. How do you feel so mysterious? Xiao Qingxue pinched her thigh hard, causing a wave of pain. Pain, it's true. So in the future, should I just follow Xiao Yan and become a duty dang dang? Xiao Shui, age. 12 years old, cultivation. Douzhi Qi second stage. With the voice prompt, Xiao Qingshue's whole body is not doing well. At the age of 12, is she in the second stage of Douzhi Qi? Is this really useless? Xiao Yan was at least because Yao Lao absorbed his fighting spirit. How could he drip it and start the game with himself as a waste? The system prompts to continue walking. Fighting technique. Xian level advanced fighting technique soul annihilation / Weapon. Frost sword. At this moment, Xiao Qingxue realized that she didn't seem to be bad. After all, the most advanced fighting skills of the Xiao family were only the intermediate level of the Xian level, the Mad Lion Angry Gang, which seemed playable. Initial data values. Attack, defense, agility, and speed are all 10 points. In the future, for each level of increase in Do Qi, the data value will increase by 5 points. The 5 points will be added to any of the 4 initial data types at the host's discretion. What kind of ghost is this? How come it looks a bit like the Douzhi Qi mobile game I've played before? Wait, it seems like I was playing this game last night and cursing in the game. There's nothing I can do, poor. Alchemist level. Apprentice of Alchemist, now able to refine the following pills. First level Yuanying pill and first level foundation building pill. Xiao Qingxue suddenly discovered a secret, with a feeling of money flying towards her. Xiao Qingxue now understands that she has traveled through the novel, Douzhi Qi, and become the fourth miss of the Xiao family, Xiao Shui. Organize what you currently know as follows. Xiao Shui, 12 years old, second stage of Douzhi Qi, Frost Sword, Soul Destruction / all 4 have an initial data value of 10, and then he becomes an apprentice of an alchemist. Mainly, the aura of this duet is also too difficult for people to accept. It's just a waste. Does the host access data? A yes/no prompt button appeared on the projector, and Xiao Qingxue sighed. Can she have any other choice? Xiao Qingxue raised her hand and lightly tapped yes. In an instant, Xiao Qingxue's body trembled like an electric current. After a while, Xiao Qingxue finally regained her strength. Congratulations to the host, successfully accessing the data. The reward for the host is as follows. The Do Qi has been increased to the 7th level. Xiao Qingxue watched as the fighting spirit on the system panel turned into 7 sections, and this feeling of ups and downs was really good. Upgrading the host to a dosher can automatically obtain a special fire. Xian Huang Yan. Is it so impressive? It can also automatically obtain abnormal fire. Although Zuan Wanjian ranks last in the abnormal fire ranking, it is still possible for dosher to have abnormal fire. Family reminder. The additional skills obtained by the host will be upgraded according to the changes in the host's combat level. For example, the yellow level combat skill can be promoted to the mysterious level combat skill. I suddenly fell in love with the feeling of reaching the pinnacle of life. I have been bullied in the game all along, and now I am about to start bullying people. Xiao Qingxue was very happy and didn't mind her travels at all. Instead, she fell in love with this place. Xiao Qingxue closed the system interface and looked at herself in the mirror. Duki continent, I'm here. Xiao Qingxue, using Xiao Shui later, got up and put on her clothes. Wearing this light blue dress on her, she looked very lively and cute. Xiao Shui opened the rouge and toner box in front of the bronze mirror, and began to apply makeup. A slight touch of makeup was enough to make her stand out in the world. A gentle knock came from outside the door. Xiao Shui put down the box in her hand and turned around to ask, "Who is it?" A male voice came from outside the door. "Little sister, it's me, third brother." Third brother. Xiao Shui started looking like a third brother, but I'm the only child in my family, okay? Wait, third brother. The third son of the Xiao family. Isn't that Xiao Yan, the male protagonist who fights through the sky? Xiao Shui patted her head, and the silly girl was no longer Xiao Qingxue, but the fourth miss of the Xiao family, Xiao Shui. Isn't Xiao Yan his third brother? Xiao Shui quickly got up, opened the door, and saw a young man half a head taller than herself. Xiao Yan carefully looked at Xiao Shui and looked at her as if she had completely recovered. He asked with concern, "Little sister, have you all recovered from your injuries?" End of this chapter. Chapter 2. Petition from Brother. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 2. Petition from Brother. Xiao Shui looked at Xiao Yan with some confusion. Xiao Yan reached out to touch Xiao Shui's forehead. Xiao Shui involuntarily took 2 steps back, and Xiao Yan looked at Xiao Shui awkwardly. This girl seems to be really sick, why is she so unfamiliar with herself? Little sister, are you okay? In fact, Xiao Yan was worried that Xiao Shui might have suffered brain damage and amnesia. Xiao Shui shook her head. Her recent actions must have made Xiao Yan suspicious. In her memory, Xiao Shui was very clingy to Xiao Yan and said, "I'm okay, brother." What's wrong with you? I don't think you remember anything, I thought you had amnesia. Xiao Shui could tell that Xiao Yan genuinely cared about her sister, and his gaze was unmistakable. Brother, I'm really okay. I remember what you said. With Xiao Yan's reminder, a series of memories flooded into his mind. Originally, Xiao Shui was injured this time mainly because he was helping Xiao Yan who was being bullied. He was pushed down the corridor by Xiao Ning, and at that time, Xiao Shui hit a wound on her head and passed out. Because of this, Xiao Ning left with resentment and did not continue to trouble Xiao Yan. I am 3 years younger than Xiao Yan, and there has been no progress in my cultivation. My peers have all reached the 4th and 5th stages of Douzhi, with only Xiao Shui having only 2 stages. Xiao Yan had a glorious past, almost becoming the youngest fighter, but this eerie scene happened. Xiao Yan's cultivation level decreased year by year, and in the end, he successfully descended to the aura of a 3-dan fighter. Together with Xiao Shui, they were known as the 2 biggest losers of the Xiao family. Xiao Shui is a real waste, after all, she has always been without any progress and has been bullied by her tribe since childhood, such as Xiao Ning. This time, it was also because he couldn't bear Xiao Ning scolding Xiao Yan as a waste. Xiao Shui took the initiative to attack Xiao Ning, but never thought that for Xiao Ning, Xiao Shui was just a scumbag and was successfully killed. What a shame. Little sister, what's wrong with you? Xiao Yan saw Xiao Shui lost in thought, as if thinking something. Xiao Shui regained consciousness and said with a smile, "Brother, I'm fine, and my injuries are all healed." However, Xiao Shui thought to herself that she would definitely beat up Xiao Ning next time and not be constantly bullied. Really good. Xiao Yan couldn't believe it, but seeing that there was not even a scar on Xiao Shui's forehead, he felt relieved again. Brother, I'm really good. You don't have to worry, I can at least have a table of good dishes now. Xiao Shui's memory grew more and more. It also moved Xiao Shui a bit. Xiao Shui grew up with the care of Xiao Yan and Xiao Zhan since childhood. In other words, she became a group pet and kept doting on her. Perhaps it is because Xiao Shui is the only daughter of the Xiao family that her brother's father loves her so much. You girl, you know how to eat. Even if you're injured, don't forget to eat. Xiao Yan looked at her with a spoiled expression. Brother, I should only eat when I'm injured, so that I can recover quickly. Otherwise, my injury will heal slowly. Xiao Shui, as her memory deepens, no longer feels unfamiliar with Xiao Yan. In my memory, every time I caused trouble, it was Xiao Yan who fought for me. Xiao Shui gently pulled Xiao Yan's sleeve and swayed back and forth, looking aggrieved and looking down like a child who had done something wrong. Xiao Yan looked at his younger sister with indulgent eyes, shook his head, and gently caressed Xiao Shui's little head. Okay, I'll take you to eat something delicious, he said. Okay, there's something delicious. In fact, Xiao Shui knew that due to internal family constraints, Xiao Yan and herself had very little expenses, only a few tens of gold coins per month. Perhaps they thought the siblings were useless and not worth spending money on them. Xiao Shuisong opened Xiao Yan's sleeve, just like a child running out. Xiao Yan followed behind and waved, slow down. The two siblings can be said to have a shared destiny. Oh, aren't these two useless people? Xiao Ning saw Xiao Yan and Xiao Shui chatting and laughing from a distance in the corridor. Xiao Shui looked in the direction of the voice and saw Xiao Ning leading 3 or 5 family members pointing their fingers at their siblings. His face was full of mockery. Little sister, what are you doing? Xiao Yan saw Xiao Shui turn around and walk toward Xiao Ning. He ran up and grabbed Xiao Shui's hand, asking. Xiao Yan didn't want to cause trouble. He had listened to such vulgar language too much and had become numb, but Xiao Yan knew that Xiao Shui couldn't listen to it. Every time he heard them say that siblings were useless, he would go up and fight regardless of his own health. And the people who get beaten every time are both siblings. Originally, today was a happy day. Xiao Shui must have recovered from her injury and was preparing to go out for a meal. As a result, she encountered this guy halfway through, and Xiao Shui's anger couldn't be suppressed anymore. Xiao Shui's hand was grabbed by Xiao Yan, and her body stopped. Looking back at Xiao Yan and shaking her head, Xiao Shui knew that it was not time to expose her strength yet. Otherwise, how can we explain being pushed down the corridor by Xiao Ning 10 days ago? Xiao Shui stared blankly at Xiao Ning. One day I will let you know my strength. Brother, let's go eat something delicious. Xiao Shui unexpectedly underwent a 180-degree transformation, which caught Xiao Yan off guard. Did you actually hold on to Xiao Shui on your own this time? Is this girl difficult to enlighten? Xiao Shui saw Xiao Yan in a daze and waved in front of him. Brother, what are you doing? How can you be in a daze? Xiao Yan regained his senses and was very pleased with Xiao Shui. This time, Xiao Shui chose not to take action. It's okay, let's go. Brother will take you to eat something delicious. The two ignored Xiao Ning's provocation, and this time Xiao Ning miscalculated. For Xiao Shui, Xiao Yan was really willing to give up all his pocket money for a month to buy food for her. Xiao Shui really enjoys the feeling of being spoiled by her older brother. She has always thought about how great it would be if she had an older brother. Every time she saw a girl in the dormitory being pampered by her brother, Xiao Shui envied her. I didn't expect to experience the feeling of being spoiled by my brother here, and I have to say that this feeling is really good. The two of them played outside for a whole day before returning to their own courtyard. The courtyard where they lived was adjacent, and every time Xiao Yan sent Xiao Shui into the courtyard, Xiao Yan would return to the courtyard on his own. Fearing that Xiao Shui might have some problems, every time Xiao Shui provoked Xiao Ning, it was actually mostly Xiao Yan who was beating her up. However, Xiao Shui also took the initiative to help Xiao Yan stand out, which also created a very good relationship between the siblings. Xiao Shui returned to the room and closed the door, opening the system interface. However, during the day, Xiao Yan suddenly visited, and Xiao Shui had not yet come to study the system carefully. We need to study and research carefully this time. The system opens and looks at the entire interface, which is indeed very similar to the game interface I have played before, and I look like the game character who pinches his face in the game. Xiao Shui couldn't help but shiver, feeling a bit empty. By the way, now that I am an alchemy apprentice, I can refine first-level elemental baby pills and first-level foundation building pills, which are pills that are not included in the original work. Moreover, the effects of these two types of pills are significant. If they can be refined in bulk, wouldn't they be making a fortune? Xiao Shui's eyes were suddenly filled with money flying, and her saliva was almost flowing out. End of this chapter. Chapter 3. Refining Medicine. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 3. Refining Medicine. Xiao Shui will do whatever he says. According to the system prompt, it is exactly the same as the medicine refining in the game. Xiao Shui simply despised the fact that the initial value of the medicinal herbs given was too few, and calculated that each sample was enough to refine 10, so she couldn't fail yet. Each failure resulted in one less herb. Xiao Shuiming memorized the steps and techniques of refining medicine in the game, carefully staring at the system interface. Every time, it was perfect, so that the success rate of refining would be greatly improved. Xiao Shui took the final step of refining, then stared at the time above. 10 seconds seemed like 10 days, and Xiao Shui's palms were sweating. This was the first time refining medicine here, and it was related to her own money, so she couldn't fail. At the last second, Xiao Shui dared not look at the system interface anymore. She covered her eyes with both hands, slowly opened her fingers, and slowly opened her eyes, looking through the gaps between her fingers. Xiao Shui couldn't help but clap her hands and applaud when she saw 10 Yuaning Dan successfully refined. However, soon Xiao Shui covered her mouth with both hands and carefully listened to the voices around her. She found no one around and finally felt relieved. Xiao Shui clicked to remove it, and 10 first-order Yuaning pills emerged one after another from the system interface. Xiao Shui quickly found a bottle and filled it with these 10 first-order elemental baby pills. They are all money. Xiao Shui is currently counting money in her heart, yes, a lot of money. I couldn't help but enjoy the flowers blooming. Xiao Shui has successfully refined 10 first-order foundation building pills again, and the next step is to find Yafei and Maitel auction house. Xiao Shui carefully placed 2 bottles into the storage ring, which was a birthday gift given by Xiao Zhan when Xiao Shui was 10 years old. A month later, the family tested their fighting spirit again. At this time of the year, the siblings become the laughing stock of the family's children. Only one person in their age has silently believed in the siblings and has never discriminated against Xiao Shui. The two have also happily become best friends. Sister Shui, why do you look like an eggplant made of frost? It's not like you. A wind bun reveals the temples, lightly sweeping the eyebrows and eyes with a hint of spring, and the skin is delicate. Rune like warm jade, soft and shiny like greasy, cherry lips not pointed but red, delicate and charming like drops, 2 strands of hair gently brushing against the face with the wind, adding a touch of seductive charm, while the agile eyes rotate cleverly, a bit mischievous, wearing a light green long dress, waist not too tight to grip, beautiful as flawless, so beautiful as not to be consumed by worldly fireworks. Isn't this my good friend Xiao Suner? She is indeed a beautiful woman, no wonder she is the female lead. Xiao Shui playfully pulled Xiao Suner's arm and said, Sister Suner, if I had the same ability as you, I would definitely hold my head in chest high. It's not like being in the 2nd grade every year. My father's face is pale, but I made the 3 elders laugh. Xiao Suner was stunned by Xiao Shui's sudden words. Xiao Suner glanced at Xiao Yan beside her, and Xiao Yan spread out his hand, saying he didn't know either. Suddenly, I felt that Xiao Shui's changes were quite significant. A month ago, she was still a troublemaker. No, she should have been mischievous, with a fearless attitude. Why did she change after a month? Xiao Shui saw the surprised content of Xiao Suner. Sister Suner, why are you so surprised? I can't cause trouble every day. You know that every time I cause trouble, it's my brother who gets beaten up. I'm not letting my brother get beaten up less, otherwise Sister Suner will be heartbroken. Xiao Shui threw down this sentence, released Xiao Suner's arm, and hid behind Xiao Yan. Listening to Xiao Shui's words, Xiao Suner's cheeks blushed, but seeing Xiao Shui like this couldn't help but laugh. Chasing Xiao Shui about to repair her, Xiao Shui circled around Xiao Yan and used Xiao Yan as a shield. This had become commonplace for Xiao Yan, and he couldn't get angry with Xiao Shui at all. Xiao Yan had no choice but to stop Xiao Suner and say some gentle words, "All right, it's about to arrive, don't make a fuss." Xiao Shui didn't forget to make a face at Xiao Suner, which made Xiao Yan and Xiao Suner laugh coincidentally. Oh, isn't this our Xiao family genius and Xiao family waste? I don't know what the outcome will be this year. Xiao Ning still continued to be in debt. Xiao Yan has become accustomed to Xiao Ning's sarcastic remarks and does not experience significant emotional fluctuations. But Xiao Shui doesn't recognize it anymore. He's been bullied so much, how could he be so arrogant? Xiao Shui disdainfully glanced at Xiao Ning and said contemptuously, "Sister Sun, did you hear a dog barking just now? It feels like a dog can't spit out ivory." Xiao Suner couldn't help but cover her mouth and smile as she listened to Xiao Shui's words. The girl remained merciless as always, indicating that she had just developed an illusion. Xiao Ning's face turned purple with anger at Xiao Shui's words, but this is the testing ground for the family's children. Even if Xiao Ning has a lot of anger, he dare not act recklessly here. Xiao Yan, on the other hand, was aloof and didn't glance at Xiao Ning. "Xiao Shui, you useless person, how can you have the face to speak? I advise you to keep a low profile, otherwise I'm afraid I'll be careless when I leave here." Xiao Ning looked arrogant. Xiao Yan is someone you can scold yourself, but you must never scold Xiao Shui. Xiao Shui is Xiao Yan's reverse scale, a more important existence than Xiao Suner. Xiao Yan stepped forward and said, "Xiao Ning, it's best for you to keep your mouth clean, otherwise." Xiao Ning looked very proud and said, "Otherwise, what? Do you think you were a genius in the past? I'll tell you, you're not. You're just like your useless sister now, you're all useless." Xiao Ning looks like she's under smoking. Xiao Yan was about to take action, but he was stopped by Xiao Shui. Xiao Shui shook her head and looked at Xiao Ning, saying, "My brother has been brilliant before, but you still can't keep up with my brother's pace. TSK, I really don't know where the wild dog was released." Hating others, Xiao Shui has never been afraid. Xiao Yan looked at Xiao Shui with great satisfaction. This girl never disappoints anyone. You. Xiao Ning was so angry that she couldn't even speak. You, what are you? You can't even speak clearly. I tell you, my brother will one day stand up again, and there won't be any chance for you to kneel down and beg for mercy. Xiao Shui's admiration for Xiao Yan was something she had since childhood. You, just your brother, that useless person, want to stand up again and dream. Xiao Ning didn't believe what Xiao Shui said. Xiao Shui's resolute gaze has always been supportive of Xiao Yan, always treating him as a role model. "All right, Shui's sister, don't tell him anymore. The test is about to start." Xiao Suner tried to reconcile again. Xiao Suner really didn't want to argue with them. In Xiao Suner's heart, she always believed that Xiao Yan would return to that genius youth. The three of them walked aside, ignoring Xiao Ning. In the crowd, there was a very complicated gaze that Xiao Shui knew. It was Xiao Mei, who used to worship Xiao Yan very much, but 3 years ago, everything changed. There has also been a 180-degree change in attitude. People are like this. When you were wealthy, even if you hid in the deep mountains, others would hear about you. If you were down, everyone would hide far away, afraid of any involvement with you. End of this chapter. Chapter 4. 7 sections of Douzhi Qi. You are listening at Novel Full. Audio. Chapter 4 7 sections of Douzhi Chi testing elders on the high platform is like an NPC saying some rules, and then one by one they go up to test. Xiao Ning, Douzhi Chi Ba Duan, advanced. The elder looked at his grandson with great satisfaction. After all, besides his sister Xiao Yu, this Xiao Ning is the most powerful in the family now. In front of Xiao Zhan, he was also arrogant and didn't look down on Xiao Zhan. Xiao Ning cast a contemptuous gaze at Xiao Shui and Xiao Yan. Xiao Shui gave him a blank glance and said, "What's so remarkable? Let me show you later, what's stunning." Xiao Yan looked at Xiao Shui's eerie smile. What kind of devilish idea is this girl thinking? Although I can teach Xiao Ning a lesson every time, it's not me who ultimately suffers. Xiao Mei, the 7th level of Douzhi Chi, advanced. With the words of the test elder, Xiao Yan's expression remained calm. Just now, Xiao Mei wanted to take a step and talk to herself, but in the end, she took it back. In Xiao Shui's memory, when Xiao Yan had not yet become a waste, Xiao Mei's relationship with Xiao Yan was even better than that between Xiao Suner and Xiao Yan. I kept running to Xiao Yan's side every day to ask questions, and at that time, Xiao Shui was still very fond of seeing Xiao Mei. But later on, the situation showed that Xiao Mei was just a wall grass. When she saw Xiao Yan becoming a waste, she joined Xiao Ning's team. There are also many bullies against Xiao Shui and Xiao Yan, but Xiao Shui remembers this very clearly. Xiao Shui tilted her head and looked at Xiao Suner beside her. There was only this one who never bullied herself and bought herself many delicious things. From the bottom of her heart, Xiao Shui also really liked Xiao Suner. Looking at Xiao Mei's light and graceful steps, as well as her pale pink dress and already pretty face, she has become the object of admiration for many children in the family. Xiao Shui has a bold idea. If anyone marries Xiao Mei, they might end up with a bunch of green hats. After all, when they see someone powerful, they will stick it upside down. It's really a green grassland. Watching the admiring gaze from the family's children, Xiao Mei enjoyed it very much, but besides Xiao Mei, there was also a genius girl in the family. That's right, it's Xiao Suner. She has been holding on to Xiao Mei's head all the time. If we were to say that the girl the family's children like more is definitely Xiao Suner, but Xiao Suner disdains these people. In Xiao Suner's heart, there is only Xiao Yan, but soon there will be another genius girl pressing down on Xiao Mei, and that's right, Xiao Shui. As one test at a time. Next, Xiao Suner. Xiao Suner whispered softly, "Brother Xiao Yan. Go ahead, you must be stunning everyone again this time," Xiao Yan said with a smile. "Brother, do you like Sister Suner? I think you treat her better than me, but I'm your sister." Xiao Shui wasn't actually jealous, but rather jokingly. "Little sister, what are you talking about? There's such a big gap between me and Sun Er, what qualifications do I have?" Xiao Yan's eyes dimmed. "Brother, what are you saying again? Sister Suner is not that kind of person. Sister Suner is a good person, don't miss it, and I believe brother will stand up again someday. Don't be discouraged," Xiao Shui advised Xiao Yan. Listening to Xiao Shui's words, Xiao Yan couldn't help but look at her. Unconsciously, this girl had also grown up and knew how to say comforting words. Xiao Suner, Douzhi Chi Jodan, advanced. Obviously, the test elder was very surprised. Another true genius girl, compared to Xiao Mei, this is the true genius. The family's children were even more admiring, but Xiao Suner ignored them and walked straight towards Xiao Yan and Xiao Shui's side. Next, Xiao Yan. The voice of the test elder was clearly off, plain and contemptuous. "Brother. Brother Xiao Yan." Xiao Yan lightly patted the back of Xiao Shui's hand and said, "I'm fine. I don't know if this genius will be relegated to the second stage of Douzhi Chi this year. I don't know, but in the past 2 years, I have been stuck in the aura of 3 Dan Do. Oh, the genius of the past. Xiao Yan carried a lot of things on his body, and Xiao Shui stared at the children who were discussing Xiao Yan with sharp eyes. I wish one person could slap them to death. Xiao Yan, the third stage of Douzhi Qi, low. Level. The test elder shook his head, feeling very helpless. Xiao Yan's proud head still lowered. In fact, he has been practicing hard for the past 3 years, but his strange fighting spirit has not increased at all. When Xiao Yan passed by Xiao Shui, his emotions were really at their lowest point. Brother. Xiao Shui didn't know how to comfort him either. I'm fine, it's your turn. Xiao Yan was very dejected. Next, Xiao Shui. Xiao Shui's fighting spirit has always been only in his second stage, and no matter how much he cultivates, it is useless. The children of the family have become accustomed to it. Xiao Shui, however, stood tall and full of energy. This time, let me show you that Xiao Shui is not a waste. Xiao Shui gently pressed on the testing black stone and slowly inputted Douzhi Qi. With the input of Do Qi, a row of characters slowly appeared on the stone pillar. The test elder looked at the words on the stone pillar incredulously. How could this be? The people below were also completely stunned. Xiao Ning's chin was startled, and she murmured to herself. How could this be? Xiao Mei even cast an incredulous gaze. That useless person had actually increased his 5 Dan Do Qi in a year. How could this be possible? Xiao Yan was pleasantly surprised. Looking at the words on the stone pillar, this girl kept her brother to death. Xiao Shui, the 7th level of Douzhi Qi, advanced. Xiao Shui is no longer a waste of the family, but a genius girl of the family. That's right, at the age of 12, she has a fighting spirit of 7 levels, and her future is promising. Xiao Zhan looked at his daughter below and couldn't help but smile with relief. What did this girl do? Surprisingly, it increases the qi of the 5 Dan Do in 1 year. At this moment, the other children of the family cast envious glances, more of a kind of admiration. Unconsciously, the 12-year-old Xiao Shui also stood tall and graceful, the more beautiful she looked. Xiao Shui returned to Xiao Sun'er's side and carefully looked around, saying, "Where's my brother?" Xiao Sun'er pointed to the road behind her, and Xiao Shui watched a lonely figure slowly moving forward. Yes, today, for my brother, the blow I brought him may be greater than the surprise. Don't worry, brother Xiao Yan will make it through. However, sister Shui, you are hiding so deep that you are hiding from me. Humph, I will ignore you in the future. Xiao Sun'er pretended to be angry and tilted her head to look at the other side. Sister Sun, you have wronged me. I also don't know how to improve my cultivation recently. You may not believe what I said. Last time I was pushed down from the corridor by them, it seemed to have opened up my body's meridians. I am also curious, otherwise I would have told you early on. Sister Sun'er, don't be angry. Why don't I give you all my pocket money this month to buy delicious food? Xiao Shui kept shaking Xiao Sun'er, acting coquettish. Xiao Sun'er suddenly burst out laughing and turned her head to look at Xiao Shui. Hey, you can just brag and open up your meridians. However, Shui's sister has grown up and her cultivation has also improved. She is happy for you. Are you not angry with me anymore? Xiao Shui asked softly. End of this chapter. Chapter 5. Unconvinced Xiao Ning. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 5. Unconvinced Xiao Ning, silly girl, if I were angry with you, I would still be here. Xiao Sun'er gently scraped Xiao Shui's nose. Xiao Shui held Xiao Sun'er's arm and coquettishly said, I knew that Sister Sun'er was the best. Since that's the case, should Sister Sun'er take me to eat something delicious? Xiao Sun'er couldn't help but indulge and look at Xiao Shui. Didn't you just say you invited me? How did it become that I invited you? Sister Sun, let's talk while we walk. Xiao Shui pulled Xiao Sun away. Sister Sun'er, you also know that I don't have enough pocket money every month. It's better for Sister Sun'er to treat me, I'll be responsible for eating, and Sister Suner will be responsible for paying. Xiao Shui leaned her head against Xiao Suner's shoulder. For Xiao Shui, Xiao Suner is a good friend and also a mobile ATM machine. That's right, if her mouth is sweet, there will be delicious food. I can be considered waiting for you. Xiao Xuezai returned from outside with Xiao Suner and separated from her after entering the mansion. Xiao Shui walked alone towards her small courtyard, without even noticing that she had been targeted since the moment she entered the mansion. Someone went to Xiao Ning to pass the message early on, perhaps it was explained by Xiao Ning. Xiao Shui turned around and looked at Xiao Ning and 3 or 5 family members, but asked lightly, "What's up?" Xiao Ning, an old lecherous embryo, couldn't get along with Xiao Suner. At this moment, I saw that Xiao Shui's eyes showed a lecherous expression. Xiao Ning has never seen Xiao Shui in person before, and this is the first time he has looked at Xiao Shui so carefully. The original trash looked so beautiful at this moment. Although only 12 years old, Xiao Shui's height was already 1.6 meters, which is not the height of a child. I really don't know what kind of ancient environment Xiao Shui grew up on. Xiao Shui, who had never been seen in front of Xiao Ning. At this moment, in Xiao Ning's eyes, she looked straight like a fairy descending to earth. The family members beside him whispered to Xiao Ning, "Brother Ning, what's wrong with you?" Xiao Shui noticed that Xiao Ning was staring at her body up and down, and those spiritual eyes looked full of anger, old and lecherous. Xiao Ning finally regained his senses and pointed at Xiao Shui with a crossover, saying, "Xiao Shui, what method did you use in the testing field just now to achieve the 7th level of Do Qi? I don't believe it. You can achieve the 5th level of Do Qi in just 1 year." In fact, it's not just Xiao Ning who doesn't believe it, but also Xiao Mei who stands far away in the corridor. Thinking that Xiao Shui had not discovered herself, she just watched everything that was about to happen like watching a play. At first, there was pressure from Xiao Yu, and he finally managed to endure until Xiao Yu went to Canaan College. As a result, there was another Xiao Suner who had been suppressed by her. Whenever Xiao Suner appeared, Xiao Mei seemed to be ignored by the family's children. But now another Xiao Shui has emerged, how can she not let Xiao Mei have more ideas? So what? Are you planning to block me? And then beat me up like before? Throw me down from a height? Xiao Shui's words were light and not expressed in anger. It seems to be questioning Xiao Ning, but it's not getting angry. Xiao Ning answered lightly, "It's not that you're trying to protect your useless brother, otherwise you'll get beaten up. I never bully girls. Is this what people say? Did my brother bully you when he was stronger than you? How do I remember when he would still help you cultivate? I didn't expect everyone to be white-eyed wolves." Xiao Shui's voice was very loud and spread far, and Xiao Mei in the corridor could hear it clearly. This was what Xiao Shui had said to Xiao Mei. "Wall grass, shameless, just throw it away after use." "Xiao Shui, what I'm saying now is, have you cheated?" Xiao Ning didn't want to be suppressed again. "Cheating? Are you crazy?" Xiao Shui couldn't understand Xiao Ning's brain circuits, as the test stone was not a fortune teller hired on the street. "Xiao Shui, don't be too proud. Since that's the case, then take my move." Xiao Ning said he would do it, and he punched him with one punch. Although Xiao Shui was 1 head shorter than Xiao Ning, she remained motionless in the face of Xiao Ning's attack. The descendants of the family behind couldn't help but laugh when they saw Xiao Shueling in place, saying, "Xiao Shui shouldn't have been scared silly." Xiao Ning wouldn't think that way. After all, in the past, Xiao Shueming knew he couldn't fight back and would fight back. Every time he fought, his face was bruised and he even lost to the man. How could she be scared silly by herself, these second-rate pig teammates? Xiao Shui extended her left hand and gently clenched Xiao Ning's fist. It was unclear whether Xiao Ning had not exerted much force on Xiao Shui, a beautiful woman, at this moment, or whether Xiao Shui had exceeded their imagination. Xiao Ning watched as her fist was gently pinched by Xiao Shue's delicate jade hand, and she couldn't retract it yet. Immediately after, Xiao Shue leaned forward, with her entire left shoulder resting on Xiao Ning's chest. Xiao Ning gritted her teeth in pain. Xiao Shue's movements did not end, and she made an over-shoulder fall, slamming Xiao Ning heavily to the ground. With a gentle twist, Xiao Ning's entire arm dislocated. Xiao Ning rolled on the ground in pain, covering her shoulder with one hand. Xiao Shue lightly patted her hands and turned to look at the 3 or 5 children. Her beautiful eyes seemed to be somewhat frightening at the moment, and a cold chill emanated from her heart. Xiao Shue glanced at the children with frightened expressions, shook her head, and turned around to look at Xiao Ning on the ground. Xiao Ning, from today on, it's best for you to be a person with your tail between your legs. Otherwise, I'll see you beating you up every time, Xiao Shue. Xiao Shue felt a sense of satisfaction in her heart, it was just too comfortable, stinky man. Xiao Ning was not convinced. When Xiao Shue walked a distance and stood up with the help of other children, Xiao Ning stood up. He spoke harshly, Xiao Shue, wait for me, I will avenge today's shame. Xiao Shue turned around and quietly looked at Xiao Ning and others. Xiao Ning watched as Xiao Shue turned around, quickly grabbed her tail and ran away. When Xiao Shue looked at the corridor again, Xiao Mei's trace was no longer there. Humph, the next time it won't be a dislocated arm. Believe it or not, I'll take one of your arms. Xiao Shue was in a good mood, humming a small tune from her familiar hometown. Xiao Shue returned to her small courtyard and a familiar figure sat on the stone bench. Don't look, Xiao Shue knows it's her father Xiao Zhan who came to see her. Dad. Xiao Shue let out a cry and walked over. Xiao Zhan looked at Xiao Shue, who was bouncing and walking, with a loving expression on his face. Xiao Shue has returned, where did she go today? Xiao Zhan had no choice but to deal with his daughter, as if the Xiao family were a cage. Xiao Shue liked the kind of freedom. Dad, what are you saying? Where am I wild? Xiao Shue coquettishly tugged at Xiao Zhan's robe. I didn't say it yet. After the test, I slipped out of the mansion. Do you know it's very chaotic outside now? Xiao Zhan gently patted Xiao Shue's arm. Chaos. What's so chaotic? Dad, what are you talking about? Did something happen? Xiao Shue listened to Xiao Zhan's words as if someone was going to take action against the Xiao family. In her memory, the original work did indeed involve the gallery and Oba families working together against the Xiao family, which was indeed a crisis. End of this chapter. Chapter 6. Mysterious Guests. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 6 Mysterious Guests, cough cough, it's nothing, it's just Xiao Shue. You have some thoughts now, and surprisingly, Dad kept it a secret. Xiao Zhan pretended to be angry and diverted himself from the topic he had just talked about. Dad, what are you talking about again? This time, Xiao Shue was preparing to pretend to be foolish. You don't know. I really don't know, how could I keep something from my dad like this? It's impossible. Xiao Zhan couldn't help but smile slightly as he looked at his ancient and quirky daughter. Can you tell me why you became the 7th Dan of Douzhi Qi during today's test? Xiao Shue blinked Cazalin's big eyes and turned around, bending over and pouting, Dad, isn't it that you've always been busy? My daughter is afraid of causing trouble for Dad. Hey guy, can this be causing trouble? Miss, can we find a better excuse next time? This excuse is really, it seems that our little Snow has really grown up and knows how to share the burden for her father. Xiao Zhan didn't blame Xiao Shue either. This girl has always been like this, not telling herself anything. The same goes for being beaten before, and now it's even more so. Seeing Xiao Yan and Xiao Shue, Xiao Zhan suddenly felt that he owed too much to the two children. Dad, this is too serious. If you think I've grown up, can you give me more pocket money next month? Xiao Shue's mischievous and lovable appearance was very pleasing to Xiao Zhan. Okay, I'll give you a little more next month, but don't tell your brother, otherwise he'll be jealous if he finds out. It must be said that Xiao Zhan really dotes on his daughter. Okay, Dad, don't worry, I won't say anything. Then I'll hook up with Dad, otherwise I'm afraid Dad will change again after he leaves. Xiao Shui extended her right hand, completed her fist with the other 4 fingers, and extended her little finger. Xiao Zhan lightly hooked Xiao Shui's little finger, and the father and daughter both smiled coincidentally. Seeing off Xiao Zhan, Xiao Shui looked at his back and suddenly felt a chill in her heart. Xiao Zhan was burdened with various pressures and had already worked very hard. But almost every day I come to see Xiao Shui, it's really love. The next day, Xiao Shui quietly left the mansion. Today, she made an important decision to make money. These days without money are really sad. Xiao Shui turned several street corners and came to a small alley opposite a magnificent building. Looking at the golden characters on the building. Mitel Auction House. Xiao Shui bought a cloak from the market and draped it around her body, making her look more sturdy. Xiao Shui disguised herself and headed towards Mitel's auction house. For this mysterious figure, the Mitel auction house knew the rules and the maidservant welcomed him early on. Please. I wonder if your esteemed guest is coming to Middle Auction House to auction or buy something. The first thing the maid did was to figure out what Xiao Shui wanted to do. Xiao Shui's voice became louder as she tightened her cloak and said, I'm here to ask your auction house to help me auction off some pills. With this statement, the maid's attitude towards Xiao Shui became even better. Dear guest, please follow me to Yejian. Entering the elegant room, the maid said, I'm going to invite Master Guanai and the chief auctioneer of the concubine to come over. Your esteemed guest, please wait a moment. There's no way, alchemists are so respected in Duqi continent. Soon, Xiao Shui heard footsteps coming from outside the corridor, and a slight smile appeared on her lips. The maid pushed open the door and a middle-aged man walked in with the woman in red. Upon seeing that Xiao Shui had not taken her seat, concubine Yafei almost angrily scolded, surprisingly, there is a distinguished guest who has not served tea yet. The maid quickly retreated and quickly served tea. Watch her fold her slender waist with a slight step, her white wrist draped over a light veil. My eyes are filled with spring water and clear waves, and my head is adorned with a jade dragon and phoenix hairpin. Fragrant and delicate, delicate and delicate, with a face more beautiful than a flower. Fingers are like scallions, roots and lips are like cinnabar, and every frown and smile is captivating to the heart and soul. Looking at concubine, Xiao Shui thought to herself like this. This woman is probably a man and can't resist it. This seductive demeanor makes her even more tempted. Xiao Shui couldn't help but swallow her saliva. I heard that your esteemed guest is here to auction off elixirs. Guanai asked first. Xiao Shui put down the teacup in her hand, took out 2 small bottles from the storage ring, and placed them on the table. Yes, I came this time to help me auction off these 2 pills through the Mitel auction house. Xiao Shui's voice was very rough. However, Princess Yafei looked at Xiao Shui with a half-smile. Xiao Shui missed an important detail. As a girl, she already had a special body fragrance, and even used spices when going out. Guanai picked up a small bottle from the table, opened it, poured out one, and carefully verified it in his hand. As a second-level alchemist, Guanai, who is already in his 40s, is not particularly powerful, but no one dares to offend him in this Yuten city. After a long time, Guanai finally put down the pill, and Yafei looked at Gu Ni's expression. Master, is there anything wrong with this pill? The voice was very quiet, but Xiao Shui could hear it. What, how could there be a problem? Guanai shook his head and asked, holding 2 small bottles in his hand, I apologize for my awkwardness. I have never seen your elixir before, and I do not know its ingredients. Could you please inform me of the uses of these 2 elixirs? As soon as Gu Enai said this, concubine Ye was stunned. What? Master Gu Enai surprisingly doesn't know what this pill is. Can it be a pill of grade 4 or above? Impossible, this person should not be a 4th grade alchemist. Ye Fei stared blankly at Gunny, trying to find the answer. Xiao Shui coughed lightly and explained, this pill is a first-order Yuanying pill and a first-order foundation building pill. The efficacy of this first-order Yuanying pill is only useful for Do Ren. One first-order Yuanying pill can allow Do Ren to directly advance from 1 star to 2 stars. However, 2-star Do Ren requires 2 first-order Yuanying pills to break through to 3-star Do Ren, and so on. Moreover, the pill has no side effects. Xiao Shui's explanation widened Gu Ni's eyes. Is there such a magical pill in this world? You should know that hard cultivation requires a lot of time and energy to improve by 1 star. Even for those with the highest talent, it may take a month to be promoted, but this pill has such an effect. Ye Fei couldn't believe it either, after all, it was an unprecedented pill. Are you truly convinced of the efficacy of this pill and its no side effects? Gu Enai couldn't believe that there was such a pill. Even if those big families spared no effort, they would not hesitate to purchase it. It was really tempting. Of course, I can guarantee that, Xiao Shui answered very decisively. What about this kind of pill? Yes, what are the effects of a first-order foundation building pill? Gu Enai really wants to know what the efficacy of the pill in the other bottle is. Xiao Shui continued to explain, the first-level foundation building pill only has an effect on the fighter. Its effect is to comprehensively enhance the user's various abilities, such as agility and strength, and it is not a temporary effect, but a true permanent improvement. After listening to Xiao Shui's words, Gu Ni's eyes widened even wider. This guy had never seen such an effective pill before. End of this chapter. Chapter 7. Auction of Pills. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 7 Auction of Pills. Don't worry, all the benefits I mentioned are real, and I swear by myself. The oath of an alchemist is absolutely reliable. I have never seen such a magical pill in all these years. I wonder how much your esteemed guest wants to auction off. As the chief auctioneer, Lady Ye Fei also knows the nobility of an alchemist. All of this is decided by middle auction house, and I also urgently need money, otherwise I wouldn't have taken it out for auction casually. Xiao Shui explained her intention, which was just one word. Money. Actually, this is very sincere. Who entered the auction house to auction things for money? That's too false to say. Okay, there happened to be an auction today. If you agree, I will make an auction for you today, said Princess Ye Fei in a very gentle tone. However, what Princess Ye Fei is more interested in is to see the person under this cloak. Thank you very much, Xiao Shui said. I wonder if your esteemed guest is interested in personally watching the auction. Of course there is. Okay, concubine Ye turned around and ordered, someone, please invite this gentleman to the VIP table and treat him well. Thank you, Ye Fei made a gesture of invitation, and Xiao Shui responded. Looking at Xiao Shui's back, concubine Ye Fei said in a faint voice, Master Gu Enai, do we, this adult. Gu Enai shook his head and waved his hand, saying, don't do this. Let's dispel your thoughts. Every alchemist has their own temper. If we don't understand his temper, don't act rashly. Ye Fei nodded and showed great respect to Gu Enai, saying, yes, Master Gu Enai. Alright, you're ready for the auction, don't let this adult down. Gu Ni's interest in the mysterious Xiao Shui is not lower than that of Princess Ye Fei. Under the guidance of the maid, Xiao Shui arrived at the VIP table and served delicious tea. The maid was waiting outside the door at any time at Xiao Shui's command. Xiao Shui was surprised to find that the far left side of the VIP seat was the Xiao family, and Xiao Zhan and the 3 elders had all arrived. The following are the Oba family, the Gallery family, and all have auctions attended by their owners. I really don't know what made the owners of the three major families personally attend. Xiao Shui tightened her cloak, afraid that her disguise would be exposed by Xiao Zhan on the other side. With the lively applause from the audience, Ye Fei appeared in the center of the stage with light steps, and it must be said that this fairy did make it a bit difficult for the man to control. Ye Fei bowed with a smile on her face, and the fan in her hand was placed on her chest, adding a touch of beauty. Welcome to the auction held by Middle Auction House today. Ye Fei would like to thank you all for your visit. After finishing speaking, Princess Ye Fei bent down, her every frown and smile making the big men in the audience crazy. Ye Fei had become accustomed to those vulgar gazes. Xiao Shui looked at the almost crazed and insane old lady below at the VIP table, shaking her head helplessly. She was really speechless towards these people. However, whether it is the aristocratic families in Yutun City or other young masters, there are many people who pursue Ye Fei, but Ye Fei's ambition is not based on this. Ye Fei's smiling face has never stopped since she took the stage, perhaps this is a helpless move as the chief auctioneer. Xiao Shui felt an extra sympathy for concubine Ye in her heart. Ladies and gentlemen, just before the auction of today's items, our auction house received a commission from a distinguished guest to specially add items for auction. Ye Fei is truly unparalleled in this aspect, which fills everyone's curiosity. As expected, not only people from the three major families are interested, but others are also very interested. The maid walked up the platform with a tray and a cat step. Everyone is curious about what exactly is in the small bottle in the maid's hand. Ye Fei carefully observed the auction situation and continued to sell the goods. In this small bottle is a unique pill refined by a senior alchemist, which has never appeared in mainland China. It is a pill that can quickly improve one's personal cultivation and has no side effects. Ye Fei's introduction immediately filled everyone with greater curiosity about this bottle of elixir. Especially since it has never appeared before, and it is the entire continent. You should know that there were also high-level alchemists on the continent before, and there were also pills that alchemists had never seen before. That great alchemist is probably a great deity. Looking at the eager gazes of the crowd, Xiao Shui was deeply impressed by Princess Ye, who seemed to have a natural tendency to do business. Filled with everyone's curiosity, concubine Ye picked up a small bottle and continued to introduce, this pill is called the First Order Yuanying Pill. First level Yuanying Pill. What kind of pill is this? I haven't heard of it on the mainland. I have seen many things before, but this is the first time I have heard of this level of Yuanying Pill. I don't know what its effects are. However, this pill only has an effect on the Dou person. A First Order Yuanying Pill can allow the 1-star Dou person to directly advance to the 2-star Dou person without any side effects. Good guy. When Princess Ye Fei said this, everyone was immediately stunned. This is too exaggerated. It may take ordinary people several months to improve. But this pill can instantly enhance, which is countless times stronger than other enhancing pills. Does this pill really have such an effect? Of course, the reputation of an alchemist cannot be overturned by you, replied Ye Fei readily and decisively. This sentence instantly made the person who had just raised the question feel embarrassed. No one in this continent dares to easily offend the alchemist, that's all powerful. However, if this pill wants to elevate the Douzhi's 2 stars to 3 stars, it requires 2 pills, and so on. Ye Fei also mentioned the quantity of pills needed in the future. Looking at the silent auction, Ye Fei knew that this group of people were waiting for her starting price. As expected, just as the starting price for Princess Ye Fei had been announced, someone had already made a bid. According to the appraisal of Master Gu Ni from this auction house, the starting price for one First Order Yuanying Dan is 3,000 gold coins. As soon as Princess Ye Fei finished speaking, someone rushed to bid, 4,000 gold coins. For this type of pill, 4,000 gold coins are not expensive at all, and it can even be said to be very cheap. But it's too naive to get it with 4,000 gold coins. The three major families each have their own ulterior motives, and their purpose for coming today is actually for the future auction. However, this pill is so tempting, how can we let it go? Clan leader, there are also many legitimate descendants in the family who are going to fight. Why don't we buy some to save first? The elder whispered in Xiao Zhan's ear. Xiao Zhan, however, was in a dilemma. He didn't bring much money today, and he didn't know what the other two families were up to. Xiao Shui almost took a sip of tea and sprayed it out, because after so long, no one was bidding anymore. Isn't that so cheap? 5,000 gold coins. Just as Xiao Shui was disappointed, someone called again. They were from a nearby mercenary group. It's better not to miss out on such good things. It's already worth buying such a pill in Yutun City. End of this chapter. Chapter 8. Crazy Shot. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 8 Crazy Shot 6,000 gold coins. The person who bid this time, Xiao Shui, looked over and seemed to have some understanding. Heming, the third commander of the Wolf-Head Mercenary Regiment, perhaps in the eyes of many people, even if it was just such a pill, taking it would definitely not immediately improve, but it would also shorten a lot of cultivation time. Xiao Shui thought to herself, isn't this Herman an 8-star starfighter? Even if he buys everything, it won't be enough for him to be promoted to the 9-star dough. Is it possible that he is stuck in the 8-star dough and is about to break through to the 9-star dough, so he wants to use this pill to break through? 8,000 gold coins. Xiao Zhan offered. After all, it was still very tempting. Jia Libi from the Jia Lai family became enthusiastic when he heard Xiao Zhan's bidding. 9,000 gold coins. Xiao Zhan looked at Galabai with a proud expression. Clan leader, one pill costs 9,000 yuan, which is too expensive. It's better not to do it, after all, the entire family's annual income cannot buy much. Let's keep it for the purpose of our visit today. Second elder reminded on the side. 10,000 gold coins. As the operator of underground casinos, restaurants, and romantic venues, Obapa's assets should not be underestimated. Jia Libi is even more proud. Although the Xiao family is one of the three major families in Wutan City, in terms of financial resources, they are not as good as the other two families. After all, the Xiao family still has face, while the other two families are shameless. Xiao Zhan still wanted to bid, but was stopped by the nearby elder. Although he was the person in the family who wanted this pill the most, he couldn't ignore the actual situation of the Xiao family. Ye Fei looked at the quiet auction around her and said, is there anything higher than 10,000 gold coins? 10,000 gold coins is a large sum in Wutan City. You should know that even a young lady like Xiao Shui is still a young lady of the Xiao family. The monthly allowance is only a few tens of gold coins, which is enough for an ordinary person to live as a family for a month. 11,000 gold coins. Galileo bid again. After all, this pill is very practical for his son and he doesn't want to miss such an opportunity. Obama looked a bit angry. Didn't he originally plan to put pressure on the Xiao family together? How did you add such a list? Xiao Zhan felt much more comfortable when he heard Jia Libi bidding again. 11,000 gold coins once, 11,000 gold coins twice. 11,000 gold coins 3 times, a deal. Congratulations to Captain Galabai for winning this pill. Ye Fei announced the final result. The following bidding became even crazier, with the highest bid reaching 30,000 gold coins and being auctioned off, especially with fierce competition between the gallery and Oba families. Xiao Shui broke her fingers and calculated that the final transaction price of 10 first-order yuanying pills was 210,000 gold coins. Setting aside the commission from Mitel auction house, she should still be able to get nearly 200,000 gold coins. Xiao Shuiduan's eyes were full of money shining. Ye Fei gently lifted the small bottle in her hand and said, "This pill is called the first-level foundation building pill. Its effect is to enhance the various abilities of cultivators in the Dou stage, not for a brief increase, but for a permanent increase, with no side effects. It should be noted that most elixirs can only temporarily enhance the strength of the fighter and lose their effectiveness after the effect. For example, the energy storage pill is a short-term enhancement of the fighter's strength. But this level of foundation building pill has such a permanent enhancement effect, which is also an enviable pill. This pill is also 10 pills, with a starting price of 3,000 gold coins for each pill. 4,000 gold coins. As soon as Princess Yafei finished speaking, someone offered. Just now, the two major families were fighting against each other and have already spent 210,000 gold coins. I believe the current pills can be found missing. Obapa and Galibius also have a lot of faces. However, Obapa still has the strength. Compared to Gabriel, he spent tens of thousands less just now, which gives Obapa confidence. 5,000 gold coins. Xiao Zhan didn't want them to easily obtain it, and this pill is more beneficial for the fighters, as it can strengthen their foundation. 6,000 gold coins. Xiao Zhan bid. Herman is deeply concerned that he didn't auction off the first-level Yuanying Dan just now, and this time he has to get it again. 7,000 gold coins. 8,000 gold coins. 9,000 gold coins. 10,000 gold coins. Quickly, the first-level foundation building pill was once again raised to 10,000 gold coins. Galabai's face turned black, but he gritted his teeth and said 9,000 gold coins. Unexpectedly, someone else offered 10,000 gold coins. You don't have to guess, but you know it's because Obapa and Galibius can't get along. 15,000 gold coins. Xiao Zhan bid again. Obapa stared at those dead fish eyes, not intending to give up. He had already given up once just now, how could he give up this time? 20,000 gold coins. It has been raised to 220,000 gold coins once again. I don't know if they came for the final auction item. Xiao Zhan held his hands and didn't answer, just looking at Obapa with such pride. Princess Yafei looked around and reached out her hand, 20,000 gold coins once, 20,000 gold coins twice, 20,000 gold coins 3 times. Deal, congratulations to the Obapa clan leader. Next, perhaps due to the weakness of the 3 major families, the average price has never exceeded 20,000 gold coins again. Xiao Shui was a bit dumbfounded. It seems that this Wutan city really doesn't have much fuel, maybe it's really out of money. However, after calculation, there are a total of 180,000 yuan for the first-level foundation building pill, plus 210,000 yuan for the first-level Yuanying pill, making it a total of 390,000 yuan, which is already considered a sky-high price. After the auction of her own auction was over, Xiao Shui stopped lingering and went to the lounge under the guidance of the maid. This is a lounge specially prepared for distinguished guests. Sir, Miss Yafei still needs to be auctioned off and will have to wait for some time. Please rest well inside the house and let me know if you need anything. No need, you go get busy. Xiao Shui waved her hand and the maid retreated. About half an hour passed before footsteps could be heard outside the door again. Yafei pushed the door with a smile on her face, holding a purple gold card and an unclear card in her hand. Yafei knew that Xiao Shui was a woman, and she did not twist her waist like she did at the auction. Instead, she walked lightly. Walk to the chair next to Xiao Shui, sit down, hold your cheeks with one hand, and take out the prepared 5-striped purple gold card with the other hand, as well as a membership VIP card. All the money deducted from the auction house's fees is here. In addition, this member VIP card is given to adults as a gift. In the future, as long as you use this member VIP card, adults can auction things at any Mitel auction house in the Gamma Empire, and the cost of the auction coins will be reduced from 5% to 2%. Princess Yafei spoke in words that were difficult to refuse. Thank you. Xiao Shui reached out and picked up the 2 cards on the table, putting them into the storage ring. I'm really curious that a woman has such medicinal skills, but I don't know if Princess Yafei is honored to see her beauty. Princess Yafei's lively eyes seemed to be able to speak. Xiao Shui was surprised in her heart. How did this concubine know she was a woman? Is it difficult for her to have some kind of secret skill? End of this chapter. Chapter 9. Stand Up. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 9. Stand Up. Xiao Shui asked curiously, Miss Yafei, how do you know that I am a woman? Is there a label on me? Yafei looked at the delicate and fair hand that had been retracted and smiled. Your Excellency, the hand you just received the card from doesn't seem to be a man's hand. With such a fair and delicate hand, if you say it's a man's hand, Yafei wouldn't believe it. Xiao Shui felt slightly embarrassed, but wearing a cloak, Princess Yafei couldn't see it. Is that all for now? Xiao Shui wanted to know how powerful Princess Yafei was. Of course not, the fragrance on the adult's body also betrayed the adult. Men definitely wouldn't use such a fragrance, wouldn't that seem too lacking in masculinity? Yafei continued her analysis. Xiao Shui couldn't help but extend her thumb and said, Miss Yafei is really observant. It seems that I need to learn more from Miss Yafei in the future. For most of her disguise being exposed, Xiao Shui herself was not careful. Your Excellency has praised me too much. I have only seen many people and have some small skills in recognizing people and things. How can I compare to an adult like this? Miss Yafei is too modest. When I saw her today, my admiration for Miss Yafei was overwhelming. The two of them praised each other, causing Princess Ye to cover her mouth and laugh. It's been a long time since I had such a happy smile, Yafei said with a heartfelt smile. The two chatted for a while before Xiao Shui left. Princess Yafei personally escorted Xiao Shui out. Surprisingly, Guanai personally sent Xiao Shui out of the Maitel auction house. The people of the three major families far behind were also dumbfounded when they saw the black-robed man being respected by Yafei and Guni. When did such a powerful alchemist come to Yutun City? You don't have to think about it, but today's elixir must have come from this black-robed person. It seems that this black-robed person's alchemist level is definitely higher than that of Master Guanai. In fact, Xiao Shui's alchemist level at this time is only one level. Yes, he is a first-level alchemist. Jia Libi walked over with a smile on his face and said, Miss Yafei, Master Guanai, was that adult the alchemist who auctioned off the pill today? Yafei and Guanai certainly knew the thoughts in Jia Libi's heart. Guanai replied contemptuously, that's right, but Chief Jia Lai, don't have any bad intentions. Since this master can refine pills that have never appeared in the mainland, his strength is not ordinary. Obviously, Guanai is warning Jia Libi not to offend the alchemist, otherwise the consequences will be very serious. Master Guanai, look at what you're saying. How dare I have any ulterior motives? Galabai replied with a smile. There's no best, Gunny said and left. Leaving Galabai looking awkwardly at the back of Master Gunny. Please help yourself, everyone, said Princess Yafei as she dressed herself. Yafei chased after her and Galabai looked at her with disdain. I didn't expect such a powerful figure to come to Yutun City, even Master Gunny from Maitel auction house was so respectful to him. I believe he must be a powerful figure. The chiefs of the three major families each left the Maitel auction house with their own thoughts in mind. Due to Xiao Shui's early appearance, the Xian-level intermediate skill Wind Curl, which was originally purchased by the Jia Lai family, was acquired by the Xiao family, which also led to a rift between the Jia Lai family and the Xiao family. Master Guanai, what do you mean by adding a column just now? Princess Yafei chased after her. What does it mean? The meaning of seeking death is that there is no alchemist on this continent who is easy to deal with. Especially today, this one may have unpredictable strength. With his strength, even the forces behind him cannot be underestimated. Guanai turned back and said, looking in the direction at the end of the corridor. Yafei also looked back and didn't know where she actually came from. A few days later, one night, the bells of the Xiao family rang loudly, and Xiao Shui was practicing inside the house. These days, she didn't know what had happened, and her heart was empty. The progress of her practice seemed to have fallen behind. Little sister. Xiao Shui heard the sound of the bell and quickly opened the door. At this moment, Xiao Yan had already come from his small courtyard, shouting Xiao Shui. Brother, what's wrong with this? Xiao Yan listened carefully to the bell and said, something must have happened to the family. Let's hurry to the conference hall too. Okay, brother, let's go. When the two of them arrived at the conference hall, there were many people in the hall. Xiao Shui looked over and wondered why the person sitting in the VIP seat on the left had such an impression. I can't remember where I've seen it before. Xiao Suner saw the arrival of the two and stood up to wave her hand. Xiao Yan and Xiao Shui quickly walked to Xiao Suner's side. There is no way, the family meeting has never reserved a place for the two of them, and they always squeeze with Xiao Suner. Such days will surely be gone forever. Upon seeing the arrival of Xiao Yan, the three elders' eyes were clearly off, as if hostile. Although the three elders usually don't look up to their siblings, they wouldn't look at them with such hostile eyes. Xiao Shui quickly pondered and suddenly had a flash of inspiration. By the way, isn't that girl Nalan Yanran from Yunlan sect? So, if that's the case, is Nalan Yanran coming to divorce? This is also too despicable. Xiao Yan still doesn't understand what happened. Just now when I heard the bell, I rushed over, as if there was a heavy sense of oppression condensed in the air. Xiao Suner gently tugged at Xiao Yan's clothes and whispered, Brother Xiao Yan, your fiancé AE has come to withdraw. It turned out that just now, because Xiao Yan and Xiao Shui lived a bit far away, when they rushed over, Nalan Yanran had already revealed the reason why she came to the Xiao family. Fiancé AE. Xiao Yan also raised a large number of Nalan Yanran diagonally across from her. What? Brother Xiao Yan doesn't remember. Xiao Suner's heart was filled with jealousy. Xiao Yan suddenly remembered, oh, you're saying she's Nalan Yanran. Wait. What's the reason for getting married? Yes, when Xiao Yan's brother and Shui's sister didn't come just now, Nalan Yanran expressed her intention to open the Xiao family. Xiao Suner, like a competent wife, explained the information Xiao Yan wanted to know. Xiao Shui exclaimed inwardly that it was not good, despicable. She had originally thought that her arrival would affect one thing and a series of things, but still couldn't avoid the hurdle of getting divorced. No wonder I have been restless these days. It turned out that someone was bullying my brother. Xiao Zhan smiled and said, Nalan niece, were you joking when you said you wanted to divorce? It was a marriage arranged by your grandfather and Yan Er's grandfather himself. Nalan Yanran looked aloof, completely ignoring Xiao Zhan. This feeling of superiority made Xiao Shui feel very uncomfortable. Chief Xiao, I think what I said is clear enough, there's no need to repeat it again. Xiao Zhan's face became slightly embarrassed. Nalan Yanran didn't give Xiao Zhan any face, but Xiao Zhan was still the head of the Xiao family. How can he lead the family in the future? Xiao Shui couldn't bear to watch anymore and got up to walk to the conference hall. Are you Nalan Yanran? Nalan Yanran turned her head to look at Xiao Shui, looked at her in confusion, but still answered Xiao Shui's question. Yes, I am. I don't know who you are. End of this chapter. Chapter 10. Intense Clash. You are listening at novelfull.audio. Chapter 10 Intense Clash. My name is Xiao Shui, my brother's sister. I never expected my brother to have a fiancé AE like you. It's really ridiculous. Xiao Shui's words were bold and tough. Xiao Shui's words made Nalan Yanran's face a bit embarrassed. But soon the people on the side whispered something in Nalan Yanran's ear. Then Nalan Yanran regained her smile, but it was a mockery. Oh, you're just Xiao Yan's useless little sister. Who did I think you were? It has to be said that Nalan Yanran is too proud. This can be said, but it is not suitable for such an occasion. If something is bothering me, don't bother my sister. Xiao Yan stood in front of Xiao Shui at some point. Although Xiao Yan knew that Xiao Shui's cultivation was higher than his, he still protected her as always. Xiao Shui looked at Xiao Yan's figure and felt inexplicably happy from the bottom of her heart. Xiao Yan, what's up with you here? Miss Nalan Yanran is coming to her door to get married now. Xiao Yan, what face do you have to speak up about? The speaker was the elder. Xiao Shui was not happy anymore and said sternly, Senior Elder, how can I suspect that you have taken advantage of the Yunlan sect? How come the children of the Xiao family have been insulted? As the senior elder of the family, you just don't speak up for your own children. Why do you still unite with the people who bully my Xiao family to bully my brother? It has to be said that Xiao Shui's words were reasonable, and the elder's face turned pale with iron. Xiao Zhan looked at his daughter with great satisfaction, and he didn't know when it had started. It seemed like her daughter had suddenly grown up overnight. Xiao Yan looked at Xiao Shui with relief. If there was anything he wanted, his younger sister would definitely be the first to speak up for him. The second elder coughed lightly and said, Xiao Shui, this is a decision made by the elders of the family, not something that you, as a junior, should manage. Second elder, I don't like to hear that anymore. If Xiao Mei were to be divorced, could you still sit in your seat and talk so calmly? I think you definitely can't sit still, right? Xiao Shui didn't know where the confidence came from and finished scolding the first elder and second elder. Xiao Yan nodded and praised, then turned to look at Nalan Yanran and said, Miss Nalan, we've only met once since childhood. But it's not me, Xiao Yan, who looks up to me. Miss Nalan, besides being good-looking, you really have nothing else. Xiao Yan's words were very harsh. What does Nalan Yanran mean? She looks better. It's unclear if Nalan Yanran is just a vase. In the middle, not in the middle. Xiao Yan, what do you mean? You don't think you're still worthy of me, do you? If you had said that a few years ago, you were indeed worthy, but now you're not the genius you used to be. Nalan Yanran's words were also harsh and heart-wrenching. Nalan Yanran didn't finish her sentence. If the Xiao family agrees to my request for divorce, Yunlan sect will compensate the Xiao family for the Juki powder. This is the Juki powder personally refined by Master Guha of Yunlan sect. This price tag has made all three elders tempted. After all, this is a good thing that can successfully condense cyclones, become true fighters, and achieve 100% success. Sure enough, the elder spoke again and said, Chief, look, Miss Nalan has no intention of treating Xiao Yan. If. Before the elder could finish speaking, Xiao Zhan angrily said, What does elder mean? Xiao Shui added fuel to vinegar and said, If outsiders were to see this, they would really think that the elder is a member of the Yunlan sect. Is there a precedent in this Duki continent where a man has been divorced? Elder, what do you want my brother to do in the future? How can my Xiao family establish a foothold in Wutan City in the future? Where will my father be? Elder, are you too selfish? Xiao Shui's words left the elder speechless, and the children of the family began to condemn the elder's words for being thoughtless. Yes, I really agreed to Nalan Yanran's request. Xiao Zhan, the clan leader, has achieved his goal, and the Xiao family may not be able to stay in Wutan City anymore. Isn't this really something to consider? Even if you get Juki powder, what can you do? Just a fighter. Can we go to heaven now? Did your Xiao family rise from then on? What are you thinking? The elder didn't expect Xiao Shui to be so able to speak so much, which made him speechless. Now, how do the children of the family view him as the elder? Xiao Suner was very surprised. When did this girl become so smart? Previously, they were all reckless. Nalan Yanran listened to Xiao Shui's words and knew that it was her own lack of consideration, but it was already at this critical moment and she couldn't give up at all. One bottle doesn't work, how about those 3 bottles? Nalan Yanran gave a look. Guyi took out 3 bottles of Juki powder from Na Jia and handed them to Nalan Yanran. It has to be said that Yunlin sect is full of grandeur. They can easily take out 3 bottles of Juki powder, which is not something that ordinary families can achieve. Obviously, Nalan Yanran underestimated Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan stopped Xiao Shui, who was about to explode, and nodded slightly. Xiao Shui didn't say anything. Miss Nalan, I said you have nothing else but a bit of beauty, and it really made me talk. Nalan Yanran's face became increasingly ugly. Guyi immediately took action, wanting to teach Xiao Yan a lesson. Xiao Zhan couldn't let others touch his son, the 2 of them were actually facing each other. Nalan Yanran saw the situation and the situation completely jumped out of her control. She originally thought that using Juki powder was enough to get rid of it, but now it seems impossible. Elder Guyi, please step down. Guyi just finished his work and retreated to the side of Nalan Yanran. I don't know how the Xiao family can get me to divorce. Just speak up. It has to be said that Nalan Yanran is really too proud. Xiao Yan coldly replied, although Miss Nalan may have some beauty, I am not uncommon to see Xiao Yan. Since Miss Nalan insists on doing so, I, Xiao Yan, hereby announce that I will retire Nalan Yanran. I, Xiao Yan, hereby issue a letter of resignation. Xiao Shui was really a clever ghost, and immediately took out a pen and paper from the storage ring and handed it to Xiao Yan. Xiao Yan was indulging in a smile, but it was his sister who understood his own thoughts. Xiao Yan waved his pen and wrote a letter of rest, passing it on to Nalan Yanran. From now on, I, Xiao Yan, and Nalan Yanran, will cut ties and not intersect. Xiao Yan's words were decisive, and Xiao Shui did strongly agree that it was necessary to be so domineering. Brother, Xiao Shui cast a approving gaze. Nalan Yanran couldn't bear such insults. Xiao Yan, okay, let's take a step back each. I'll give you 3 years. In 3 years, if you come to Yunlin sect and defeat me, I'll agree to let you take my leave. If you lose, you'll have to agree to my divorce. Nalan Yanran knew that it was impossible to successfully return the item today. But I cannot bear such a great shame without being laid off by Xiao Yan. Okay, I agree, Xiao Yan answered decisively, without any hesitation. End of this chapter.